Okay, let's see if the connection helps. So Orion AI, so this is what I see. So let me just explain what is Orion AI is mainly what I've just explained to you in this session. What is also the organization of the driving forces, the database, how you can explore the database. And now do you have the pricing plan? I'm going to leave this to the end of this webinar. And then we have nowadays we have three pricing plans or three entrances. We are going to from tomorrow we are going to add another one, which is going to be a basic one. So the free is just a preview, and then nowadays we have Plus and Pro. For the for the people that just join us until the end of this month, we have this 50% discount, and we are going to add a more basic one that goes after the preview one, and it's a little bit more basic. But I'm not going to waste more time on this. I'm going to enter. I'm going to enter on Orion AI Pro, a very specific one of the plans that we have. And what you can see here is 4 entrances. So the first one is what we call the Megatrends Dashboard. And the Megatrends Dashboard is the way that you can explore all the 20 megatrends and the key trends and additional trends using our website, this platform. Okay? And I'm going to enter right now. The second one is the First Assistant. And the First Assistant allows you to make in a more or less smart, complex, using deep dives and interactive ways, it allows you to explore all these database and also the knowledge of the large language model and generative AI in a much more interesting way. Okay, and I'm going to show you how we can do this. The third entrance, it's a co-pilot in which you can, I'm going to say it in a very commercial way, but you can just design and implement strategic foresight and innovation projects on steroids. It's not that you should do these without interacting and working with your team. Of course, you cannot do that, but the way that generative AI can improve and scale and accelerate the way that you can design and implement projects is really outstanding. And this is one first generation of a very specific co-pilot. And then we have also a fourth one, which is for those of you who don't know about strategic foresight and this kind of literacy and strategy and innovation, we came up with an assistant, which is basically allows you to know more about futures foresight, strategy, and innovation. Okay. Now, let me just very briefly navigate through these 3 parts. So imagine, let me enter in one of these megatrends. So we have 20 megatrends here. This is one specific global force megatrend, aging, longevity, and demographic changes. What you have here is, first of all, is a description of this global force. Very short description. The second thing is what is inside this global force. And we have very specific or broad themes, and then we have these topics. What are the most important topics that somehow, according to our analysis and our way of organizing these megatrends, can be included or in this megatrend? And you can see different kind of things. Okay. Now, some of these and some others, they are, well, this is the description of what you can have here. And then you have these key trends described. To explore the key trends, you need to move to the second layer of this dashboard, and you can see the way that these key trends are organized, positioned, and then you can just read them all. At this moment, in this generation, or at this stage of the Orion AI, you just have the description of each one of these key trends. And these key trends, again, they are completely curated by us or a third party. In a couple of weeks, you will see tags and URLs so that you can also go a little bit deeper, because all of that information are also in our database, and that information is going to, in a gradually way, it's going to be translated into this platform. Okay. Now, this is what we call, and you have these, and then you have also the possibility of even on the Plus, not just on the Pro, you have the possibility to download what we call snapshots. So the snapshot is the megatrend, a very short synthesis of the megatrends, the topics, the key trends list, and the trends list. In this case, it's not here the list, but it's going to be. And you have this more visual way of exploring the megatrends in all the 20 megatrends in the Plus and in the Pro plan, okay? The difference is that in the Pro plan, you are going to have also access to these full reports. So you will be able to download the full report with all the key trends, the description of the key trends, and also a more detailed analysis of the trends. Okay, this is just the difference. Okay, so let me move a little bit back, and now let me enter in the second feature of the ORION AI, which is the ORION AI Assistant. As I explained to you, the ORION AI Assistant is using a large language model. So we fine-tuned, we trained a large language model. In this case, it's the GPT-4 in ORION AI Pro. And what you can do is start a conversation or make a search. So what I was trying to explain to you in the first part of the webinar is when we talk about search, it can be a very simple search. For example, present me the 20 megatrends that are in this ORION database, for example. But instead of going to the different megatrends on the dashboard, you can ask directly to the assistant. And for example, let me see if the connection helps me, but you can just start and ask to the assistant, what are the megatrends that are included in the database, in the ORION AI database? Or you can just go a little bit deeper and tell me what are the key trends and trends in one specific megatrend. Or you can go and make a deep dive on a specific topic. Or you can start by making conversations around a specific issue or whatever. So what you can see here, well, for those of you that are not still aware of the ORION AI and the 20 megatrends, these are exactly the 20 megatrends that we have on the database. And of course, you can, for example, I want to know what are, for example, the key trends. No, sorry, this is a little bit more in step away or forward. Let me go back. So imagine you want to know what are the key trends and trends in one specific megatrend. So what I'm doing is a basic search. Well, I want to start my search using what are the content that are in the database, in the ORION AI database, okay? So we are exploring the database. But what is, of course, the more interesting thing is that you can start by doing this kind of a search that we can say that it's a very simple search. And then you can start by doing what we can call like deep dives. Okay, so, now what we have here is from the 1,400 driving forces that we have on the curated part, it just went and selected the ones that are key trends and trends in one specific megatrend, which is globalization. And then you can go deeper and you can start delve into specific. So imagine that you want to know more about, okay, what can you say? Can you explain me this specific key trend? Or can you just explain to me what is the connected world trend? Or eventually in a more deeper analysis, you can just ask him to, okay, make me a synthesis of all these so that I have a first idea of what in the database we can get from this specific megatrend. And then something that is really important is that the way that this is designed is that you are using a very organized, curated, somehow credible content to enter the knowledge of the large language model. So the main difference between doing this and going directly to ChatGPT, the paid one, is that you are starting or you are doing like a training or a fine-tuning in which the first instruction is go first through this database or these databases, and then add synthesize what is the content and the knowledge and the data that you can find in this big database, and use that as a first stage or as a trigger to add knowledge from the entire large language model. In this case, we are using GPT-4. Okay, so this is the kind of stuff which becomes much more interesting, much more powerful. Okay, and this is the main difference between ChatGPT, as you all know, and this specific assistant, in which it's not just the ChatGPT exploring whatever data they came up with. It's okay. It's a GPT. It's a model trained and fine-tuned first by going through this curated and structured knowledge that somehow is represented in the ORION AI scanning and intelligence database. In the future, now this is what you can do, and of course you can start a conversation and go very, very deep. In the future, we are already doing this. You will be able to identify patterns, uh, uh, create specific trends. You will be able to build radars and dashboards and create clusters and complex systems using the same model, the data that we have here, and the knowledge that the model can have, and also the knowledge that you can add into this kind of a assistant and copilot. And this is going to be massive changes, and not just, of course, I'm not just talking about what is happening in ORION AI. I'm talking about disruption that these kind of generative AI models are just bringing to the table to all of us in different activities, industries, companies, organizations, and of course also in this field of strategy and innovation, entrepreneurship, with this future-oriented or this future-based approach that is, in this case, what we are doing here. Now, let me go back and then enter the third part of ORION AI. And the third part is different. It's what we call Scanning, Sensing, and Acting AI Copilot. And the difference here is that this is not about the database, it's not about scanning or intelligence only. It's about, well, imagine that you want to design a project, a strategic foresight project, or a strategic planning project, or you are engaged in a new strategic planning cycle or a strategic cycle in your organization, or you want to create a new innovation process, or you want to somehow design the new vision for the future of your organization or your business unit, whatever. So this is how you can get a co-pilot that helps you to make that kind of stuff. So it's very flexible. Remember, it's following the scanning, sensing, and acting framework. You can find the scanning, sensing, and acting framework in our website. You can go, you can see what it is. But what is in this co-pilot is all the steps in each one of these stages. So how do you design a project? How you prepare the stage? How you can do like the scanning, for example, how you can do the sensing, which is how can you build scenarios, and how can you do the acting, which is more about what kind of a strategic approaches, what kind of implications and options, how can you do it, what kind of different kind of business model changes or redefinitions you can explore, and what kind of innovation toolbox or frameworks you can use if you want to engage in innovation. So there is a typo here. So this specific box, it's not, should not be here. Let me start, but let me give you an example of how you can use this. Imagine that you have a client, or you are working in an organization which is, let me give you an example, which is Volkswagen. I'm just coming up with this. To be honest, I didn't think about it previously. And I'm going to strategic focus, which is a way to start strategic focus. Imagine like the future of electric vehicles, EVs, and the time horizon, let's make it 10 years, 2034. So no more. Of course, if it was like a real project, you will need to give more information, more data, some data will be interesting. Why are you doing these? What is the objective that you want to take out of this project? This is just an illustration, and let's see what he came up with. So what he's going to start is going to start by this designing and preparation stage, and he's going to not only make it clear what are your ideas, what you want to do, and is going to is going to tell you or guide you through all the stages of a project. Okay. Now imagine you sometimes, or because the model can answer differently, you can go and ask him to make or develop, make the step 1.2, and we didn't make it. So he's not going to give you any answer in particular because we didn't made this clear. So it just make a proposal. Or for example, client profile. Of course, if this is for a real project, you would make a very clear description profiling of the organization, or it can be a business unit or a very specific department of I don't know, a governmental agency or whatever. The project team, we didn't talk about it, so it just make a couple of a proposals. You can explore more, you can give him more information. The strategic focus is something it just made this, and it will be important for you to give more information. Sometimes, what is the focus? What is the objective of the project? It's some of the most important things, but it's coming up with these topics and is following all the steps of this particular framework. Okay. Now let me continue. What is going to make, and I'm not going to explore the entire framework. What is going to the second stage, which is the scanning stage. Okay. And the scanning is it's a little bit like what we were seeing in the Megatrends Dashboard, in the ORION AI Assistant that made you explicit the way that you can explore this kind of driving forces. And there are a couple of instructions that we just put inside this Copilot. The first one is, one of the basic principles of strategic foresight and when applied to strategy or innovation is, don't go directly to the core of what is the topic. So make an outside-in approach. And what he's telling you is, okay, let's start by a step analysis. Let's start by megatrends that are not specific to this strategic focus. And let's give a couple of implications. So imagine that I was going to ask, okay, make the step 2.1. What is going to make is going to offer you a couple of insights and selecting a couple of megatrends and specific implications for our strategic focus, because this is really important so that you don't go directly to, so imagine that is going to make these, and is going to make an additional analysis on 2.1. I'm going to just ask him to. You need to embrace this kind of very interactive and very sometimes interesting conversations with the system, as you all know already. But what you are doing is you are making these interactions, but you are also being co-pilot or guided by a very specific framework and steps. Okay. Now, here it is, though. Step analysis is just for this specific focus, is telling you, okay, go for this kind of major themes. Eventually, these are some of the most important implications that you can take out of these megatrends or major themes. And then you can go to the second one. Okay, make step, I'm going just to accelerate these, of course, make step 2.2. And in this case, the instruction is, okay, now, he had already made this in a very simple way. Is going to give you a list of driving forces, okay? Sorry, make the step 2.2. Okay, now it's moving toward the next step. And the next step is, can you give me a list of driving forces that are going to be relevant for the future of this specific topic? Electric vehicles in 10 years, in auto industry in 10 years. And is going to present you with a 30 driving forces organized by some are megatrends, others are trends, others are weak signals, and others are wildcards. And you can start by exploring, adding new ones, asking him to give more detail on some others. And what you are making is what we call like making a scanning activity, a scanning project, and you can build like radars or dashboards in which each one of these driving forces appear or are positioned in specific radars. In the future, you will be able to create these radars through also this kind of a copilot. At this moment, this is not still allowed, or at least is not publicly available. But then you can continue, and if we continue this process, you will start, for example, if you want, you will move and create scenarios, and then you can move to the acting, which is more about strategy, implications, new business models, innovation. Although the framework has very detailed steps, you have the freedom to design the project as you want, because you have specific needs, you want to make specific things. So it depends, and it's according to you to use the Copilot as you want, okay? Now, the last part of our ORION AI suite of features is something that is really important. Of course, it's a little bit more on the more related with literacy capabilities in these fields of strategic foresight, but also on strategy and innovation. And basically is an assistant that helps you to understand what are the most important principles, assumptions, concepts, tools, methods, and even frameworks in this somehow cluster of areas that are foresight and strategy and innovation, something about design and design thinking and entrepreneurship, but with the main focus on strategic foresight. So it's like a constellation of areas or fields with foresight and futures in the center. But then, of course, you can ask, for example, what is a megatrend? So what is the difference between asking this here or asking this, for example, in whatever chat being Copilot or ChatGPT or whatever, is because here we feed the system with our own knowledge. So we have, well, myself, I have almost 20 years of experience by making research, making projects in foresight, innovation, and strategy, different kind of reports, articles, papers. My own PhD, I've made a PhD on scenario planning and strategic foresight and weak signals. So it's not going directly to the large language model, because sometimes that can be tricky, not just because it just came up with hallucinations, but because it sometimes just is too creative. And it's going first to all the documents, all the content that we have. And so you have this credibility that whatever is offering you in this more future strategy, innovation, literacy, it's a little bit more credible, and you have this kind of a confidence that it's what offering you is more interesting. And then you can, of course, if you want, go deeper, explore, learn more, and also expand to the knowledge of in this case of GPT-4. Okay, so this in a very short way is what you can find on the ORION AI. Let me just guide you through the pricing plan. So until now, so as I was mentioning to you, you have 50% off or discount on this ORION AI Plus and ORION AI Pro. You can have a preview of 6 megatrends and key trends in a free plan. And then we are having this one, which is going to be the ORION AI Basic. Basic is not still available, probably tomorrow. We didn't have this option until today. which is you can have access to the Megatrends Dashboard and also to the ORION AI Assistant, so to make scanning and intelligence, but without the access to the scanning, sensing, and acting Copilot and the futures Copilot using GPT-4. Okay, and then you have this ORION AI Pro, which has additional features beyond the access to this kind of different kind of assistants and copilots, and also the quality, higher quality regarding the model that is trained and fine-tuned. Okay, now to finalize, to make a very brief conclusion. So first of all, thank you so much for your presence in this first. Again, this is the first webinar. We are going to make a cycle of webinars because we are moving fast, adding new features, allowing to different kind of things, different kind of things that we believe is going to be available very in the next weeks. And this is why we have until the end of this month these special conditions for people, not just to be users of our platform or service or assistance, but also to create and co-create with us the future of the ORION AI. Okay, in different areas, and we are very open. We are working with with many of our subscribers in improving, making also correcting some stuff and having ideas about what can we do to take this to the next level. And we are in the middle of a revolution, no doubt about it. And it's really interesting the way that we can change or make things that was completely impossible no more than 6 months ago. Okay, now you can reach us through our website. We are totally available to answer any questions that you have. You can ask us questions. In this first webinar, it was more about give you like a glimpse, not just exploring the website and the platform, but also what is behind that, not in a very theoretical and conceptual way, but also for you to understand what is behind and how things that you can have access are working on the backstage. And on the next webinars, we are going to make it a little bit more interactive, so having your active participation. But don't forget, you can ask whatever you want through our website. You can reach me on LinkedIn and our team on LinkedIn. We have also a LinkedIn page of If Insight and Foresight, and you are welcome to ask whatever you want and talk to us. So it was really a pleasure. I hope that you have enjoyed. I hope you have a first idea of what is ORION AI. And to be honest, I just want all of you to join us in this amazing journey towards a little bit of the future of foresight and strategy and innovation. Okay, thank you so much, and see you probably in 2 weeks from now for the second webinar. Okay, bye bye. Thank you so much.